and delivering a superb learning experience, where we talk about how you can leverage your expertise through digital learning products so you can create impact, scale, and live the lifestyle you desire. And this week in our Tuesday talk, I'm going to talk about the benefits of creating a cohort-based program. Now, you're probably wondering, what is a cohort-based program? Well, put simply, it's basically a program, a CBC, if you want to use an acronym, is a program where we get a group of learners to start online and they come together and move through it all at the same pace. So it's a bit different to the self-paced online course that someone will sign up for and they just go through it at their pace as they want. In the cohort-based program, the students are going through it together. There is a lot more structure and they're guided through it over a period of time. So why do we do that? Well, if we look at the completion rates for your typical self-paced online courses, they're sitting at around 5 to 15%. Okay, at 15% of people complete. So that means that roughly 85% of people don't complete your courses. So roughly 85% of people aren't going to get the impact that you're trying to deliver. They're not getting the knowledge. They're not going out there and becoming your great advocates because they're not getting the results. And that's for online courses. Then when we look at the massive open online courses, the MOOCs that a lot of the big universities are running, we're actually seeing the completion rates for those, according to ResearchGate data, is actually sitting at 3 to 6%. So much lower. Whereas the data that we're seeing for people that are going through, sorry, probably should actually, before we jump in, is understand why that's happening. Well, one thing is that often the people are lonely. Okay, they're going through these courses at their own pace, at their own time. And there's no accountability. There's nothing keeping them motivated. There's nothing keeping them going. And business as usual and other things just play a part. And often they just drop off and they don't complete it and they'll come back to it and they lose the motivation to even come back and focus on it. It's possibly also that it's just badly designed courses and they just, once they pay for it and get in and find out it's just this video only course that just goes on and on and on, they probably get turned off as well. But also part of that as well is they're probably not getting the results. Okay, if it's dull and boring and it's not designed well, if it hasn't had learning design principles put behind it, they're not going to get the results. And if they're not getting the results, they're going to be frustrated and they're not going to continue with it. So cohort-based programs. Okay, what we're seeing is we're actually seeing of completion rates of up to 85%. Okay, looking at the completion rates for online courses, and we're seeing about 85% of people are not completing the courses, whereas with the cohort-based programs, up to 85% are completing the courses. How's that for a bit of a difference? 85% not completing to 85% completing. What impact would that have? If your courses, where you're getting 10 to 15% completion rates, suddenly jumped to 70, 75 or 85%, be huge, huge impact. So that's one of the big reasons why we need to consider this idea of cohort-based programs. And as I said, these are programs that are very structured, taking people through the process. And as a result of this structure, as a result of the nature of the programs, they have a huge number of benefits. There's benefits for the learners. And one of those is community. People are social creatures. They love to learn socially. They want to learn with each other, from each other, because learning doesn't happen in a vacuum, but it needs to happen as part of this interconnected social network. And we don't get that in our typical self-paced online courses. But this is a big focus of your cohort-based courses. the social element. And by bringing people together, and they get the support from both the facilitator and their peers. And this community driven approach really does enhance the outcome for the learners. They're more engaged because they're part of a community. Another benefit they get is accountability. Okay, many learners fail to complete a program because they're not held to account. There's a lot of things that we fail to do because we don't get held to account. You go and set goals and we just don't do them simply because we don't have accountability. But building an accountability group inside a cohort-based program creates this culture of high expectations for everyone involved. And this balance of encouragement and challenge actually drives the completion rates up. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing such high completion rates. Also, we get interaction. Okay, that have interaction with their peers. It's part of that social learning, interaction with the facilitators. And this happens over time. So it's not just jumping onto a masterclass one time, or not really engaging with anyone at all during your self-paced course, but actually engaging and interacting with people and having this opportunity to go through and solve common problems, common challenges, and achieve common goals. And the other one is this huge benefit around the impact. As a result, the idea of a cohort-based program is transformation, whereas a lot of your online courses are purely around giving information, whereas a cohort-based course is about giving people the outcomes that they need. It's about getting them to achieve the goals and get that impactful change that we want to have. And this comes from the power of community, from the accountability. They're working through the challenges and problems together. And this transformation becomes so much easier. And as a result, we get a huge impact happening. So there's some huge benefits for the learners by creating this cohort-based program. But it's not just the learners that benefit. The expert that has poured their information and knowledge into these programs, if you think about the time that it takes to unpack the IP, that valuable IP, unpack it and create your course and put it together, and you'll have this huge high hopes for great outcomes for your courses. And then you get 15% of the people completing it. How demoralizing is that? How much does that impact on you? Whereas with a cohort-based program, and because we've got people going through it at the same time, we've got the social interaction, and we've got the ability to gather feedback as we go through. And so it also gives you this ability to quickly adapt and change. And you might see that there's gaps, and you're able to quickly fill those gaps as you're moving through and creating more content as part of that program. You can receive immediate feedback to identify any issues or problems that they might be having. And as a result, the outcome that they're getting is a much better outcome. What does that do? Well, that drives your reputation up. You end up getting these 5-star reviews. You become having this reputation for delivering highly impactful training. Okay, you've got 85% of your people that are completing your training, that are getting outcomes, that are accountable, that have been held to account, that have had a great time because they've been in this social environment, learning from and with each other. And so you become known as the expert. You become known as that go-to person to go and see and to go and focus on and to go and study with. because you're the one that's going to get them the results. They're not just going to be doing some online course that they're probably not going to finish. And I'm sure all of us have been there. We've probably all signed up for courses and we've probably all not finished a lot of them for a range of reasons. As I said, you get lonely, you're not held to account. It's boring, it's dull, you're not getting the results. But you actually can develop that reputation as being that go-to expert. And you develop this community of raving fans who end up going and telling other people. And they go from being fans to advocates, which means then that your marketing becomes so much easier. They talk to people and say, you've got to go and see them. It's a great program. You really get the results. And with all of that other benefit, obviously then comes profit. Now, I know we're probably not all driven by profit, but certainly that's a big thing. If we have profitable courses and we can expand and we can deliver our impact to more people, we can do more things. We can live the lifestyle that we desire. And so you can actually change and you can price that program as a premium product. If you're getting these outcomes, you're getting the impact and people are raving about it, then yeah, you can charge more than what you probably think. There's a great book that I'm reading at the moment, Andrew Griffiths, and it talks about, someone has to be the most expensive. Why not make it you? But one of the premises in that book is that, yes, you can charge and charge the most, but you've got to be able to deliver value. You've got to be able to deliver an experience. And doing that simply through a self-paced online course is not the way. To deliver the value, to deliver the experience, to be able to drive the outcomes that you want, and to be able to charge the price that you deserve, to charge for that premium product, you've got to give the results. You've got to give the value. And you can only do that through a cohort-based program. So a couple of big benefits there for learners and for the course creator, for the facilitator. So the big question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to continue with online course that's getting your, 5 to 15%? Or do you want to look at creating a cohort-based program that is going to deliver and get you completion rates of up to 85%? That's going to give you that reputation, that's going to give you that profit, and that is going to give you that feedback to continually develop and improve and create this quality outcome for your learners. Well, if you want to know more about cohort-based courses, comment below, whether you're watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Put a comment in the chat below. Tell me more, and we'll be in touch, and we'll get in touch with you more about cohort-based programs. If you actually want to experience one, we've got an upcoming cohort-based program. So watch this space. Going to be an announcement coming up in a couple of weeks about our new program and some other big changes happening within the organization. But one of those is the launch of this cohort-based program. And so if you're really interested in joining a cohort-based program that's really going to help you, and the cohort-based program is all around how to leverage your expertise, how to nail your niche, how to craft your pitch, how to leverage your expertise, how to create these online courses that are going to get those outcomes, then again, comment, include me below. And as per usual, any questions you've got about anything that we've talked about in today's Tuesday talk, or anything else to do with designing, developing, or delivering an online course, please put your questions in the chat below. And if you want to stay in touch, find out more, then jump on to our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Edupreneur Hub. And that is our Tuesday talk for this week. Look forward to you tuning in next week for another Tuesday talk. Thank you.